How's it going, guys? I even got a really nice degenerate picture for you to watch now. And before we begin, I would like you to tell me something honestly. How's the sound? Am I echoing? I mean, I should be echoing because there's no furniture here yet. But at least it should be listenable. Apparently, it's people are saying it sounds good, but I should turn up the volume a little bit. All right. Let me see what I can do about it. Maybe I don't think it's the webcam. Oh, is it the webcam? I mean, the volume is at max, so there's no way of me turning it up. I will try one thing though. Let me just remove it. Okay, testing now. Now I think it should be a little better. Let's wait for the chat to see what they got to say, and then we can begin with the program. I'll tell you something from life. It's same. Well, the volume is at max. I mean, maybe if I turn it up like this a little bit, I don't know. My mouth is very close to the microphone. Okay. Today I realized that I hate women. It's true. I'm a misogynist. They have been trolling me for way too long, and I need to explain why that is. And I like, this is my coming out. Like, Christy Winters, you can record this. Alright, like, guys, you can start recording in case I take the stream down. You know, moment of truth. We're going to have a heart to heart. Discordia says that I'm too quiet. Okay, so that's one of the reasons I hate women. The other reason I hate women is that I usually don't take a cab. All right, like I usually don't travel with a taxi. I'm not a very wealthy person, so I usually take the bus. I take the tram. And when I do take the cab, it's because it's either very rainy, it's snowy, or like I got something really heavy to carry, right? So I decide to take a cab. But the problem is, every single time, like I'm on a street, right? You will see the cab driver coming towards you, and you will see that there is no one next to him, and you will use your hand in order to command the taxi driver to stand next to you, right? Like you usher the command, and then you see the taxi driver, just raising his fist and then pointing his finger up, like he's summoning ISIS or something, and he's shaking his finger like, no, I have another massa now. And as the cab driver walks past you, you see that there is a woman hidden inside. You know, like they always sit every goddamn time. See, because in my country, you can sit like a normal person up front, or you can sit like a twat in the back. And they sit like in the back behind the cab driver. And I even think they slouch a little bit or some shit so that people don't see that the cab is actually occupied. And I noticed this time and time again, like when a man sits, he sits in front next to the cab driver like normal people. And almost every single time, like with no exception, like I wave the hand for the cab driver to stop, and then they walk past and there's like a little woman in the back. Like, why is she trolling me? Why is she doing this? Like, you know, like it happened once, it happened twice, happened 3 times, but like every single time. I need to make a rant about it. It's not normal. Women, Romanian women, sit in the front, please. God. Yeah. Rosa Parks, the back of the bus. Yeah, didn't like people had like a whole movement for people to sit in the front? Oh my god. Let's go into the news now and talk a little bit about the actual happenings, right? Because there have been a few things that have happened. So apparently YouTube announces it will no longer recommend conspiracy videos. And this comes into the same day literally, like, well, not the same day. I think it's like maybe 1 or 2 days apart. That we get to see this. I mean, let me see if my Twitter is safe to show, because someone sent me a picture of Sean Head's tits. I don't know why they think I wanted to see that. They're nice tits, by the way, but you know, some decency, people. Some decency. This is comes the same day like Shane Dawson returns to YouTube with conspiracy series. The YouTube star is back with his first series is The Mind of Jake Paul. And yet, they will not be recommended. Huh? Like, you just recommended this. This was recommended. So I take it they don't like homebrewn conspiracy. Like the mainstream media, you know, the cable networks, they can do their conspiracies with the Russia Gate. And like this is the problem, right? If you look at the news, you will see that YouTube is pretty much a corporation that is the bitch of journalists. I'm not even kidding. Like you will see that this is how it works. Journalists are writing articles, and then YouTube changes every single goddamn time, no exception. They do this. It's like I genuinely think that there are the people at YouTube. It's like, tell me, Masa, what must I do? And they read the press to get the input. And right now, like, the press has been bombarding YouTube for promoting conspiracy theories. And I think, like, the ones that they're complaining, let's see. All right, so the ones that are complaining is, like, promoting a phony miracle cure for a serious illness, claiming that the earth is flat, or making blatantly false claims about historic events like 9/11. So I guess, like, you know, and this is how it all starts. Like, it all starts with reasonable shit. It's like, okay, so I suppose that you don't want anti-vaxxers. Okay. And then it's like, well, you don't want 9/11 truthers. Okay. And like flat earth, like what does the flat earth ever did to you? What, like, they're crazy people. What, how are they influencing anything? That doesn't matter. But then it will go into politics. Then it will start going into things like let's say you got CNN claiming that some Syrians have been gassed or something. And you're like, well, I don't believe it. Conspiracy theory. You know, like, here's the thing. There was the case of the ambulance kid that the white helmet saved and put him in an ambulance. Now, the government of China, like the government of a nation, said that they think that is a hoax, right? So is that a conspiracy theory, or do we only trust Western government? How does it work? Like, this is the actual question. Who gets to decide what is a conspiracy theory and what isn't? Because I would definitely like that job. I can show you that I can sway people's minds with having that opportunity. Not to mention, like, back when there was the Iraqi war, and it's like, oh, we're going to find weapons of mass destruction into Iraq. And people were saying there are no weapons of mass destruction. Is that a conspiracy theory? Because it seems that conspiracy theory usually means disagreeing with the mainstream media's narrative. Prove me wrong. You know, like, okay, some conspiracy theories are really ridiculous, like the flat earth and the, you know, the phony miracles and whatnot. Like, there are some that you can accurately claim, yeah, these are conspiracy theories. But there are others, like, for example, finding weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, that, you know, people have a right to doubt, like, press X to doubt. Now, apparently, YouTube is going to say that it reduces the spread of content that comes close to but doesn't quite cross the line of violating community policies. Like, well, why can't we just have some clear-cut community policy? Listen, YouTube, I understand no means no. I don't want to violate your policies. I don't want to violate your policies. Okay? I like not violating them. Just make them clear so that we know. And what does it mean, like, videos that come close? I genuinely, like, do not understand what videos that come close to mean. Is there, like, a meter that you're measuring this with? It's like, oh, this video comes dangerously close to violating. We should not recommend it. But anyway, you know, like, it's fine. I love the fact that the mainstream media can constantly push out conspiracy theories and they get away with it. Like the Trump piss dossier. Do you guys remember that? You know, that happened. The Kavanaugh rape allegations, are those conspiracy theories or not? Because I all of a sudden everyone dropped their charges. Isn't that funny? Like, if that woman was genuinely interested for justice, He was genuinely interested in finding the truth. Why all the accusations are dropped? Like the moment, like, isn't that interesting? So the moment the guy wants to go into the Supreme Court, boom, accusations. The moment the guy entered the Supreme Court, accusations dropped. Same with Mr. Trump during the presidential election. How many women claim that he did the coochie with them, right? Like all of a sudden, all these women come up. He gets the presidency, boom, all the accusation disappears. Why is it that the accusations happen usually during the elections? Just boggles the mind. Is this a conspiracy that I'm putting right now? Is this video not going to be recommended? We don't know. But what is to know is that this is going to use, of course, artificial intelligence. I like to call it artificial stupidity because it usually has errors and it fucks up. To be honest, at least for now, like the videos are just not going to be recommended. And I don't think this is going to affect channels like mine, to be honest, right? Because I'm very comfortable with the number of subscribers I got. I'm happy with how things are going. And usually I have different ways of informing people that I'm uploading a video. Not to mention, like, when people know you, they usually, like, day after day, they check your channel to see if you uploaded something. So that's fine. But it's going to be like new upstarting channels, like the little guy that tries to get up. My competition, I guess. My competition is going to get shafted by, maybe I should support it, huh? Capitalism, ugly. YouTube, get rid of conspiracy theory videos. All of them, YouTube. Purge them all. Right. Some people just pull political stunts, but that's not a conspiracy theory necessarily. It's just being a shithead. Well, like, what does conspiracy theory even mean? Again, like, who decides what is a conspiracy theory? I mean, in the case of 9/11, yeah, they do say that there is a shadowy cabal that keeps it hidden, right? In the case of Flat Earth, it's like, yeah, NASA is conspiring. But there are other things that aren't conspiracy theories. Like, they actually name the person involved. Like, when you talk about George Soros, like, you're naming him and you're showing, like, what his organizations are doing. And it's, like, on black and white. Cultural Marxism, excellent idea, right? So cultural Marxism, they claim it's a conspiracy theory. And you can go on Google Scholar and you can find scholarly works from 30 to 40 years ago talking about cultural Marxism. Right? How is that a conspiracy theory? It is ridiculous. When the Christians were talking about the gay agenda, and it's like, they want to make your kids gay, and everyone was saying, oh, come on, that's a conspiracy theory. I was saying it's a conspiracy theory. Right? I was saying back then. And now the government of my country is paying a couple of $1 million to push, like, gender ideology into schools. And I'm like, really? Fascinating. I mean, we are a country that can afford that, right? Can't you, like, feed some homeless people out of those $1 million? Can't their parents teach them, the kids, their LGBTs? Very annoying, right? But anyway, yeah, they are turning the frogs gay. What if the frogs were gay all along? Did you think of that, Manifest? What if the frogs were gay all along and they weren't turning them gay because they were initially gay? Right. Many conspiracy theories about globalism turned out not to be theories. Look, I'll explain how the globalism thing works, right? Like, this is okay. You have people who are communists, right? So I need to make a video about this, but it's really interesting when you think about it. So, what is communism? Communism is an utopia. It is a society that has absolutely no hierarchy, where everyone is absolutely equal, where there is no money, and where people go to work and they work as hard as possible for no compensation whatsoever, right? Like, you go to do your job and you do your utmost best at your job, and you're not getting any medal, any rewards, all right? Because everyone is equal. So you just go to work and you don't go in late. You do the best thing that you can, right? To the best of your abilities, and you don't get paid. But you then go into this place, like this warehouse, where you got everything, and you only take what you need. Like this is actually, I'm not even making it up. Like this is what communists actually believe society is going to inevitably become, right? You go into this warehouse and you got everything. You got like computers, you got shoes, you got food, and you won't take more than what you need. You only take the absolute necessary, so that those things can go around and they can go to other people's houses. So if you take more, you take from someone else, basically, right? So this is like the society that they want to create, the utopia, the communism. And obviously when people say that wasn't real communism, they're right. Because such a society never existed, and I don't think it will ever exist. It's against human nature. It's impossible. But in order for them to get to that society, in order for them to reach communism, they need to destroy the current society. And the way to destroy it is through socialism. Like socialism is the process that takes capitalism, dismantles it, and then creates communism. Now, the biggest issue with socialism is that you create a monopoly in the government, like you seize the means of production, and then there is no more private property. The government controls everything, and you give all the power to a couple of individuals who obviously aren't going to relinquish it. So I can claim without the shadow of a doubt that socialism is actually the opposite way to reach communism. It's impossible, right? To give... Anyway, man. Now, there are some communists who don't believe in socialism. They realize that socialism is not the way to achieve the end goal, to achieve the utopia. So they try to get it through other means. They might try to get it through cultural Marxism, right? Instead of tackling the economic issue, why not tackle the culture? Why not teach people through culture? Like if everything they consume, if when they watch entertainment, when they read television, when they read a newspaper, when they watch television, if all the things, when they read any book, if all the things is that they're bombarded with the leftist ideology, then maybe people can change the mindset, And then you can have, this is what cultural Marxism does. It's a different way of reaching communism through a different vector. And then you can have for example, environmental Marxism. It sounds ridiculous. It does sound ridiculous, but it's usually through different practices, economic, like taxes and making sure that companies, like for example, a Green New Deal, right, by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Like what that does is it would weaken America. Because if America would have the Green New Deal, a lot of corporations would just leave America and go to China. Like imagine that, like China would actually be better for companies than... And anyway, what this will cause is that China, which is a communist nation, will be strengthened, while America, which is a capitalist nation, will be severely weakened. So they want to use the idea of environmentalism, like, we protect the environment, in order to just weaken the economy of a country and strengthen the economy of a communist country. This is why people keep saying, okay, environmental Marxism. It sounds stupid, but once you actually understand the term and you know what means behind it, there's no conspiracy theory. Like it's the practice. Like this would happen if they actually put down the practices that they want to have. Anyway. Let's see what else we got, because I got a little bit into this. Now some people are asking the source for my picture. I genuinely don't know, but if you want, like what you can do is you use the snipping tool here, right? And you crop all of this from my screen and you put it on your wallpaper if this is what you want. I think it's an interesting picture, very nice. Some people say it looks like Goku. I disagree. I think it looks more like Naruto from the eyes, right? Like the fox eyes. And I think it's the ninja thing. Like I genuinely think the artist came up with the female version of Naruto. By the way, while we're on anime, has Guilty Gear? I didn't know. All right, while we're on anime, it's a dude with those tits. Are you kidding me? Like, no, it's not. Anyway, if that's a dude, I'll be gay. Do you guys watch Dragon Ball, the Broly movie? Right, like Dragon Ball Super Broly. Have you guys watched it? Can we talk about huh? Let's see. Should I even talk about it? Because that's the thing. Like I don't. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I stand with Vic as well. Hashtag. But okay. I can't stand the people who are defending the plot for Dragon Ball Super. Like these people, I just okay. So there's this guy, Geekdom 101, right? And all like the writers for the writer for Dragon Ball, right? He is far gone. Like I don't think there's anything left in that house. I genuinely think he's taking the piss. I think he shoves the crayon in his asshole and he is writing the plot with his ass. I do not understand how you can write a plot that is so stupid, right? And yet Dragon Ball is still popular. And on one hand, you have like Geekdom 101 who has to moral fag and explain every single goddamn episode the writer's stupidity. Like he will just make explanations. He's like that Bible priest. You know, when people find inconsistencies in the Bible, he tries to explain them away. But anyway, the main issue that I have with this is that people think Dragon Ball Super has a plot. Look, Dragon Ball Super is popular, and I like it. I watch Dragon Ball Super for one reason and one reason only. Is the fights. Okay? That is it. I only watch it for the fights. Period. And talking about Dragon Ball Super's plot, like, is like talking about the plot from a poor porno movie. Like, it's like trying to explain that the pizza guy who goes to the door and knocks and this really beautiful woman with big tits comes out and she can't pay and the pizza guy suggests other alternatives, right? It's like trying to explain the plot from that. It's like seeing Geekdom 101 and say, well, maybe the pizza guy and the booby lady, they knew each other from before and, you know, they're just cosplaying, so it kind of makes sense. Like, no. God damn, no, like the plot is there to get people fight. Like literally that is the plot of the Broly movie, right? It's like we're going to have this chick, you know, we're going to have Broly, which is really awesome, and we want him to fight Goku. Like let's make some plot so that it ties in together. That is literally the entire plot of Dragon Ball Super. And people who try to find meaning into it, people who look too much into it and try to actually explain shit are laughable. I'm laughing at you, Geekdom 101. Haha, that's what I'm doing right now. Oh, Dios mío. I genuinely can't believe that people actually look at that, they try to find. Now, Dragon Ball Z actually had plot. Alright, like Dragon Ball Z genuinely had plot. Dragon Ball also had plot. But Super is just ridiculous. There is no plot. And anyone who tries to claim otherwise is also ridiculous. Anyway, moving on. Let's find out some other news. We got this thing, which is very, very interesting. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys know how DC Titans used to portray Starfire, the character. And we're talking about a $1 million studio, right? Like a studio that has millions of dollars. And the way they portray Starfire is by just leaving the actress black, like no CGI, nothing. They even gave her like this pink wig on her head. It was just absolutely dreadful. And this lady from her house with her own money pulled out this cosplay. Just let that sink in. And people are wondering why the comic industry is going to shit. You know? I mean, we're talking about the fans here. Like, it's called fan because of fanatic, right? Like, people who really want to spend money and invest into the IP. And they will complain if the color of a superpower is the wrong way. Like, they would complain if the cape from Batman is of a different color, right? Like, and you're trying to just disrespect the actual fans that will spend money on your product, Not to mention the toys. Like I'm genuinely curious. Let me see if I can find the picture of the other the official one. So you can know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, here we go. No, hold on. This is her using her superpower. All right. Now I found it. Okay. So you're telling me that this toy is going to sell? I will be astonished. Like, I will genuinely be astonished if toys like this are leaving the shelves. You know, like, again, DC, here's my problem. Like, I got a wallet. It's open. My money is for you to take it. Take my money, DC. Why won't you take my money? All right? Like, if you give me something like this, you can take my money. I will buy this toy. I will, you know, like, I think this is a nice action figurine that I would put into my shelf and, you know, start a cool collection. All you need to do is to give it to me and I will give you money. Why do you not want my money, DC? Why not? And not to mention, it was so weird. Like, seeing her, the casting that they did was so weird. Because also of her age. Like, she looks like, these two look like they're her children. And she looks like they're her mother. It was just bizarre to see, you know, the interaction between these characters. So weird. But, you know, I mean, I'm not at DC. I don't know. I don't know why they choose that. I guess they must be onto something that I just can't find. Wonder Girl was good. Yeah, Wonder Girl was good. To be honest, you know what's actually upsetting? Like, it was a good show. I genuinely liked it. But every time Starfire was on, it broke all of the immersion. Like, she was supposed to look like an alien, but I'm sorry, she was looking like a woman of low moral fiber the way she was dressed. And I'm not the one, you know, usually picking on skimpily clad women. But she was wearing purple, for fuck's sakes, and she was having that ridiculous hairstyle. It's like, what? I got a super chat for $2, which I really appreciate, from Slacking Games. I only have one super chat, so I'm taking my time to read it. Is that Soul Bad Guy from Guilty Gear with Knockers? Yeah, it's I think it's a what's it called? A gender swap. You know, when you take a male character and you make him female. Yeah, and another thing is that, you know, there's people who say, oh, V, you just don't like black people. Look, the actress who plays Starfire actually looks good. Like, she actually looks good, but she was forced to dress like that. I genuinely do not know what the writers were thinking. It's like, you know, they have the marketing team, and they're like, what makes money? Well, people are willing to pay money for tits. Like, sex apparently sells. Let's take away all the sexuality from the character so we don't sell. It's not transsexual, all right? If it's magic, it's magic. Don't I like Bowsette. You know, guilty pleasure. Anyway. This apparently is something that's being promoted on Sweden. Now that we're talking about diversity, it's called the First Swedes. I think one of the first Swedes was a brother. Looks like a brother from another mother, I would say. Very, very peculiar. I don't think it's very historical accurate. Not to mention, these people aren't very historical accurate either, because the first Swedes should be a little bit brownish, I think. I need to see the scientists, like do the. I need to borrow Devon's Tracy eyes, right? I'm suffering from color blindness, which is an offshoot of racism, and I'm suffering from it. But Devon Tracy, Atheism is Unstoppable, doesn't have that illness. Like, his eyes are 23andMe. I need to get him to tell me if these look like Swedish people. This is something that's happening quite a lot. the idea of diversity, which, you know, like, whatever, if you want. Like, I just hate it when there's an established character and they make him black. Like, look, Dragon Ball Super, now that we're talking about it, right? They don't really have any female fighters. So they added the Super Saiyans from another universe, which are female. Literally, no one thinks that's a bad idea. Literally, no one cares. No, excellent. Brilliant. I don't mind, you know, like, make new characters. But it's very annoying when they take a character that's already established and they just race swap it. But, with that said, when they go in history and they start race swapping, that's really what pisses me off. Because I think this is done maliciously, right? A lot of people who watch historical movies, who watch, like, the BBC and stuff like that, they believe, under false impression, that the producers of the movie hired a team of historians. And if they did, those historians need to be fired. Because if I was their history teacher, I would have flunked them, right? So they believe that the movie has accuracy because it's advertised as a historical movie. And they might think, well, yeah, this was always the case. This was always the case. No, it wasn't. Not to mention, like, I bet there's going to be a lot of tolerance towards the brother from another mother, huh? Clearly historical accuracy. If that's the case, it means that white people weren't racist. They were always very progressive, huh? Now let me show you something else that's cool. Let me see if I can find it, because this one is absolutely brilliant. I think I should make a video on my main channel about it. Oh my god, where did I tweet it out? Probably didn't tweet it out. There was a guy who decided to make a white Black Panther, right? And he posted that on Twitter. And you can imagine some of the reactions that he got just because he decided to go with the white Black Panther. Let me kill the dead air while I'm finding it, because for some reason I tweeted it out. Oh, now I found it. Okay. So this guy is a hero, you know, like this shows you that not all heroes wear capes. So he drew Black Panther, T'Challa, from the recent hit movie Black Panther. Haven't seen the movie yet. I hope it's good. You know, like, I suppose, you know, this is his artistic take on it. It happens a lot, right? Like, races get swapped all the time. So now he posts an edit. Some of you have pointed out in the comments that I made an error with the race and also my sexual preference. But does it matter what race T'Challa is? There are white people in Africa too. Or this could be a side effect of the vibranium. A lot of white characters are made black. So what's the problem now? You guys are being hypocrites. Yeah, hey, I completely agree. You know, why does Black Panther needs to be black? There are white people in Africa. We need to represent them. They're a minority, in fact. Second edit. People trying to say that he has to be black because of some stupid reason that he's from Africa. That's bullshit. Because that means if Heimdall has to be white because he's a Norse mythology god who are all white, yet he was made black. Good point. You know, you look at Thor's movie, and in the movie Thor, it should be everyone white because it's from Norse mythology. And it turns out that people usually have their gods the same skin color that they do. Isn't that interesting? Like, there's a Chinese Jesus. I'm not even making it up. Like, if you look at Jesus in Japan, he's got the, you know, the Asian eyes. So, yeah, I mean... You know, you look at the religions from black people, like Anansi the spider is black, right? Like, people have their gods with the same skin color, but then again, you know, now maybe my point doesn't stand. Because, see, you would think that I made a good point. But as we look at the original people of Sweden, and we notice that, okay, well, maybe, you know, maybe the Norse gods, maybe this was Heimdall. Now I see. Now all of a sudden I'm being educated. I was spreading fake news. Holy shit. But anyway, right? So edit number 3. People in the comments want me to apologize. Like, he should be sorry. He should feel ashamed for the atrocity that he did. You know, like I think people in the comments are taking it a little bit too serious. I think they're a little bit of crybabies, and anyone who wastes this much time complaining about fictional characters has a problem. Am I doing it right? I'm just repeating their. But anyway, I'm sorry you people get butthurt over trivial things like skin color. So this person might also be a colorblind racist. I think he missed like the blue eyes. This is my complaint. Like I think vibranium also gives you blue eyes. Funny how a lot of black Tumblr accounts claim Black Panther belongs to them, yet Black Panther was created, greenlighted, produced by white people. Well, it's, yeah, Jewish people more specific. Funny how what belongs to you wasn't even made by you. Must be sad to have a fiction movie to be the only thing that evaluates your existence. It's not real, lol. By the way, I'm not making this up, but I think there is like a history of black studies or something like that. I will Google it. I made a video about it. It was in the news. And it's about like black culture, right? And they put Black Panther into that museum. Like they got a copy of the movie as well as the armor that was used on the set of Black Panther into that museum. Can you imagine this? Like that is... Look, if I as a Romanian, okay, would know that there is a museum of Romania and someone put a vampire outfit from the Dracula movie, I would find it a little bit offensive. It's like, what the fuck? You know, like Dracula is not written by a Romanian. It's a foreign person that made the story. It has nothing to do with Romanian culture. I mean, yeah, it is a little bit attributed to it because it takes elements from it, but it's not a Romanian artwork. Like the person who wrote the script wasn't a Romanian. The movie wasn't made in Romania. Why? Edit number 5. Just because he has black in the name doesn't mean he has to be a black man. For example, Black Adam, Black Bolt, Black Widow, Black Canary. It's obvious a lot of non-comic fans are commenting here. Please stop. You know nothing about the lore. Isn't Black Bolt black? But I know Black Widow isn't black. They did try to make her black. Like I genuinely seen a Tumblr version of Black Canary, because it's like if it's got black in the name, it needs to be Michael Jackson, reverse Michael Jackson. Edit number 6. Thanos used the Infinity Gauntlet to change him white. End of story. You know that? See, that would definitely make for a very interesting story. I would love to read that. Think about it, right? You have a character that is Wakandian, and for him being black, part of the identity of being black is very important to him. Like he genuinely, you know, cares a lot about his race. He genuinely cares a lot about his heritage. And having someone making him white and see how the character handles that trauma, that would be very interesting, wouldn't it? Man, that would make for such a compelling story. Do you guys think it's ever going to be made? I would also make a racist superhero. Like, I can guarantee to you that if I write a book about a racist superhero, it would be the bestseller. Because hear me out. When a lot of people laugh at me, like when I told this to Ethan Van Sciver, like a lot of people go like, what do you mean a racist superhero? You know, and they give you the look. They look at you like you're some crazy madman, like you're spouting nonsense. But if you think about the creation of Iron Man, what was Iron Man? It was literally everything that culture at the time hated. He was a weapons dealer. He was a wealthy billionaire. And, you know, he was very arrogant, very cocksure of himself. And people at the time, you know, during the hippie movement, that's literally what they hated. And he was a capitalist, right? And yet he made an interesting character. So how would you make a racist character interesting? Well, let's say that you have a superhero that maybe comes from South Africa or something, you know, and his parents, like during the rise of the new identitarian black movement, right? Like his parents are murdered on the farm, and you know he's forced to flee, and he goes and lives in poverty in New York with his family or something. And this guy is a racist, right? Like he hates all of the black people because of what happened to him in his childhood. And then he gets superpowers, right? And he wants to be a good guy. He wants to be a good man. He wants to help people. And there's a burning building, and there's like, you know, a black mother with their black kid in the building. and he's a superhero, and now he has to like deal with his childhood trauma in order to rescue those people, even though he hates them, but he gotta rescue them. And you create like this interesting dynamic, and you can have the character grow, and you need it in order. Like, this is why comic books don't sell anymore, because their superheroes aren't human. They're not flawed. Like, if you look at the social justice characters that you find in comic books and video games and in TV shows, they have like these ridiculous flaws. Like, either they're too perfect, or they're just like, like they have like an annoying thing, like people don't like them because they're geeks. Like really small, tiny flaws. Like, no, give them an actual flaw. Like, I remember when I grew up, like, superheroes were alcoholics, and they had to struggle with that. If I'm not mistaken, I think Iron Man had drug addiction or some shit. Like, you had superheroes like, especially, and this happened usually in Marvel. You had superheroes that had major flaws, and the entire arc was them overcoming it, like getting better, improving themselves, and getting past the flaw. That was the cool thing. But anyway, the hell do I know about comic books, I guess, and character arcs and shit like that. Oh, I still
What do you think about the Deadmau5 ban from Twitch and his response?
What? Deadmau5 ban? I have no. Oh, is it the musician? Oh, we can. I'll try to go to that story. I actually have it prepared for today. Ant-Man beat his wife. Yeah, I mean, it's not cool. That, like, the whole purpose of having that is for you to doubt the superhero, to realize that, he's a complex being that has good and evil in him, and it's a journey to see how he overcomes the evil. But anyway, he wasn't beating his wife. He was practicing gender equality. So, edit number 7. Please stop blaxplaining race issues to be nor what Wakandia should look like. Your people didn't have it the worst, and you can see like the guy's growing more and more bitter as he is typing. 90% of the threats and mean comments I get are from black people. Why do you live up to the stereotype that black people are jobless and have nothing better to do but complain all day and blaxplain things? Please try to be civilized like the Wakandians. Which you worship, or is it reality? So obviously he's not talking about all black people. He's just talking about these people that take.
So Dirty Harry, but with laser eyes.
He talks only about these people that take the movie way too seriously. Dirty Harry but with laser eyes. Yeah, pretty much. Dirty Harry. Right, let's talk about what one of the kind souls that donated to me wants me to talk about, which is the musician. Now, it's going to take me a few seconds in order to find it, but I know I tweeted it out. So apparently, like, this musician got banned from Twitch, and He was really not apologetic about it. He didn't apologize at all. Like, he stood his ground and said that he's not going to use Twitch as a streaming service because it was a temporary ban. And good on him. We need more people like him, not less. But I need to find where the article is. Let's see. We got Pope Francis doing things. Man, I have so many articles that gathered up because I didn't talk about anything. I need to make a video tomorrow about Guy Verhofstadt. Oh, and we also need to talk about Brian Larson. Very important. Like, this woman has definitely managed to get me not to want to see the movie. Like, I wanted to see Miss Marvel. Here's the thing. The Marvel universe doesn't really have female superheroes. Usually, like, the female superheroes that they have are either female superheroes that stand with the group, like Mystique and the X-Men. Like they're usually in a group, right? They don't have like their own thing. Or what's also interesting is that they might have female superheroes that are gender bender of their male counterparts. So they got like female Spider-Man, they got female Thor. Yeah, they do have female Thor. They got female Hulk, right? And apparently they managed to find like this woman that's on a comic book, which is the Miss Marvel fig, and it's also, oh wow, it also has like the company's name, so that's a good thing. And they keep trying to sell it to the public. And the public doesn't want to buy it, and I think they canceled at least 7 issues. Like they constantly make, okay, Miss Marvel, number 1. And they start the issue, and it's like number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, people don't buy it. All right, Miss Marvel, number 1. And it's like, and they do this time and time again. Now, the thing is, like, I thought in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they're just going to have, like, the classic Miss Marvel. Because the reason it doesn't sell is that they're trying to make her masculine. And people don't seem to want to buy the woman with short hair, with broad shoulders, the one that has the fuck off attitude. It's not interesting. People want the old Marvel, the one that, used to look sexy and what. And they don't want to sell that. That's not the one they want to market. They want to market the progressive version of Captain Marvel. And now you got Brian Larson being the most woke woman in the universe saying that Marvel is not, like, Miss Marvel is not for white men or some shit like that. It's like, look, I genuinely think the movie is going to be shit. I think she knows that the movie is going to be shit. And I think this is the marketing strategy in order for when the critics are pointing out just how bad the movie is, that she can have, like her defense and say, oh, no, it's because the critics are white male and they just are sexist. And if you want to fight sexism, you need to buy my movie. Like that is literally how the marketing is going to go. I am 100% sure that this is going to be the biggest flop from all of the Marvel MCU. Like this one in particular is going to sell far less than they expect. And I'm banking on the way that they're already, pushing the female narrative. And there's nothing wrong with pushing the female narrative, but when you're doing it at the expense of everyone else, when you're trying to raise yourself up by putting other people down, that's when I have an issue with it. And her being so divisive reminds me of female Ghostbusters. Notice that when DC had their Wonder Woman, they didn't piss on anyone. Like, they didn't make a point that, that this is girl power and everyone who isn't a woman is a bad person. They didn't, white people are evil type of shit. They didn't do that. They just showed the movie, people liked it, and they made money. I know, it's very difficult nowadays, isn't it, to just do that. Just show the movie and make the money. No. You have to have political opinions that are divisive. Like the only political opinions actors used to have is like save the planet. They wanted to save the dolphins. They wanted to save the trees. Feed starving babies. Like that's the politics of the actors I knew when I grew up. Now every actor is like fuck white people and fuck capitalism and like the patriarchy and shit like that. Like, okay, right? Yeah. Fuck Trump. Yeah, that's going to give you a lot of customers, I'm pretty sure. Let me see if I can find the musician band on Twitch, because, there we go. So, musician, never mind, I know what it is. Oi, I found it. The Verge actually wrote an article about this, yeah. So Twitch bans musician for homophobic slur. Now, what's interesting about the homophobic slur is that he didn't even direct it at a gay guy. But you need to understand, like, words have power, like they're magical words. It's like reading Latin in front of a spell book nowadays. So, Deadmau5, a DJ and a video game streamer, fired back after Twitch suspended his account for using a gay slur in one of his live streams. So former Hedge and manager reveals how to become a millionaire, blah blah. Twitch on Amazon owned live streaming video game and digital media platform, said that he violated the platform's terms of service for using hate speech. So what the fuck, what did he do? Well, he was playing PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, and he did a PewDiePie, right? When another player killed his game character, he shouted, "Fucking cocksucking stream sniper faggot." Alright, he didn't even use faggot, he just used fag, like cigarette. Simmerman blasted the platform in Reddit post, complaining that the platform had censored him. He also took aim at other users who reported the news of his ban. The snitches. He didn't like the snitches. Linking them to troublemakers, causing division where there needs to be none. He also said that he will likely no longer use the platform because of what he believes is a double standard on censorship. And this is true. Like, if you happen to be on Twitch and you got the tits of the lady in the image, right? Like, let's just put it here so people can understand. All right.
YDIDNT, they use the black female version of Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau from the 80s.
I have no idea there was a black Captain Marvel, but that is so fucking woke. I hope they use it. Anyway, so if you're on Twitch and you have like the tits that I have shown you on the camera, and you want to paint them, right? You want to be an artist. Like, this is not even things that I'm making up. Like, there are women who painted their tits on camera on Twitch. They're artists, wouldn't you know? And I wouldn't be surprised if you have like 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, or maybe some starving babies that steal their mom's credit card, buy some bits, and use those bits in order to give a super chat to tell the lady what a great gamer she is. And, you know, like, Twitch has nothing to do against it, even though it's against the rules. Like, you got Quarter Pounder. You know Quarter Pounder, the one with the beard and all that? Who's ignoring me ever since he became popular. He doesn't stream with me anymore. Quarter Pounder. Stream, well, let's make a stream. But what this guy did, right? Like, this is the thing that I like about Quarter Pounder, is his naivety. He's got like this level of naivete. He genuinely like thinks the world is fair, and he is acting in accordance to how the world he thinks is, right? He generally thinks that you are allowed on Twitch to read the rules. Like, that's what he did. He made a video where he read the rules, and he pointed out that some of these ladies are breaking the rules. Now, even though his name is Quarter Pounder, okay, he's not worth his weight in gold. Like, he's not producing Twitch the amount of money as many kilograms as he has. Meanwhile, the ladies, they do produce their tits weight in gold tenfold. Like, this lady, if she was on Twitch, holy fucking shit, like, she would be killing it, right? So, of course, like, Twitch doesn't apply the rules fairly. Like, they would look at this lady and say, well, this is the producer, this is the money bringer. Like, it's actually funny if you watch some of the Twitch lore, which I should cover on my channel, because there's so much of it, like, it's just the most hilarious thing. There is this woman who also works on Chatterbait, right? And she points out that she can be more naked on Twitch than she is on Chatterbait. And I was looking at that and I was like, isn't that funny, right? There are people who have took like videos of the Twitch thoughts and put them up on their YouTube channel, and YouTube realized that that is naked, and they filed a copyright, they filed a community strike against these people because, well, you know, like, YouTube recognizes and Twitch doesn't. Isn't that funny? Not to mention, like, if you're a lady on Twitch, you cannot get banned, and if you do get banned, it will take like maybe 1 or 2 weeks, and then you get back. The only person that doesn't have a vagina and is allowed to also break the rules on Twitch is Darkside Phil, which kind of gets me to think, isn't he really a woman? You know, maybe he's got like the woman's soul trapped in a man's body, because we're doing the Twitch test and he doesn't get banned, and he's being treated like a woman on Twitch. I genuinely don't know why that is, but, you know, maybe there's a gay guy that works at Twitch and likes Darkside Phil. I can't speculate on that. But it is very interesting. So anyway, with that said, let's now that I told you what Twitch really is like, let's go to Simmerman, which causes offense just by mentioning his name, doesn't it? So he blasted the platform in a Reddit post, complaining that the people who reported him got him censored, and he says that people are causing division where there needs to be none. He also said that he will likely no longer use the platform because of what he believes is a double standard on censorship. A portion of the Reddit post reads, while it was intended to insult a fucking asshat who was being a fucking asshat, it wasn't directed at an entire group of people. Which, by the way, is what hate speech is. Like, you have to direct it at a group of people. But apparently now the words have power. So he didn't complain about people with a sexual orientation that's different from his own. Fuck off with that shit. Moving forward, he also added, if I'm sorry for anything, I'm sorry that we live in a world where bottom-feeding pieces of shit, he likes the word shit a lot, can sit there staring at the monitor, watching me play video games, and just waiting for someone to get tilted so he can get a few fucking clicks. That's what I'm sorry for. Another portion of Simmerman's post noted that he has a problem with what apparently perceives as fake news as a whole. The internet is just basically full of shit for the most part, he wrote. And while what I said was generally toxic as fuck and not an ideology I hold closely to my moral standard by a fucking long shot, it was just some bottom-feeding piece of shit from Colorado who decided to make it news, proving once again the online clickbaity world is a piece of fucking shit on a good day. So again, like what happens is a journalist wrote about him, you know, saying the word fag, which means cigarette in Britain, I guess, and he got banned from Twitch because of that. So instead of apologizing, he comes up attacking Twitch. Now, here's why I understand, like, another thing that apologies do, right? Like, if everyone would act like this guy, and everyone would just say, you know, fuck this shit, this isn't fair, you know it's not fair, you know, let's stop pretending you're doing anything to help gay rights or whatnot. Political correctness would appear to be very unpopular. But when everyone is apologizing, anybody's like, oh, I'm so sorry, massa, it creates the illusion that political correctness is so popular that people know that they're doing something wrong and they're apologizing. And what's interesting is that I haven't seen a single person who apologized to actually be forgiven. Like, this is a thing, right? Like in Christianity, like the whole thing of redemption existed, you know, like you do something bad, you apologize. In our law, like if you apologize to the judge, right? If I commit a crime, doesn't matter what crime. If I commit it and I go in front of a judge and I say, you know what, yes, I did it, and I'm really sorry for it, you know, I feel bad, blah, 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 you get sentence cut off. Like, if the crime is from 1 to 2 years, if you actually go in front of a judge and you're confessing and you're sorry, at least in my country, you get 1 year, right? Like, that's why it's between 1 and 2 years. If it's someone that's like, no, you know what, I'm happy I did it, I don't care, right? Like, he will get more time. But with social justice, it doesn't sound like that. There is no justice. Like, someone who apologizes and says, you know, I did a mistake or something, doesn't get forgiven. So, like, what's the purpose of an apology? They never believe that you're sorry. They never, like, the reason they're asking for an apology is an admission of guilt from you so that they can then go on with the prosecution. But anyway. Article 13 is against Article 7 of the Dutch Constitution, freedom of the press. Yeah, but you know what's going to happen? It's going to be applied. You're going to have it, and then someone needs to sue, and after they sue, they will have to win a lawsuit, so that might take like 1 or 2 years until the lawsuit is actually being pushed. Right. Let's see what else we got. Maybe I can do $5 more. If I do $5 more, I will retire happily. Need to buy that furniture. Now, there was a Mortal Kombat cast, and oh boy. Man, let me just bring it up. They announced Jade, the character in Mortal Kombat. Bring it up on screen. Man, like, I'm looking at this guy in the middle, and there is just, you know, how should I say it in a way that is not disrespectful towards an entire community with a different sexual orientation than I am. Like, how exactly should I put it? There's just this something about this guy that doesn't sit right with me. You know, it's like that Romanian expression, I don't like his face. You know, like, it's nothing that he did personally. It's not something that you can... It's just like, you know, like when you have two cats. And sometimes you put them together and the cats don't like each other. And there's really nothing you can do about it. And you don't like, why don't you like each other, kitty? You know, it's the same with this guy for me. There's something about it, I don't like him. And I need to show you how the character Jade used to look like before you can see how it got butchered, according to my opinion. I need to mention this, right, whenever you go on the internet, like, my opinion, so that people don't criticize you, right? This is how the character used to look like, right? And a lot of people liked it. I like it. I mean, nothing wrong with it. But this guy, he doesn't like it. He said that he never liked Jade. He never liked Jade. But, Jesus, man, that ass, it's not normal. Like, check your testosterone levels, please. Like, seriously. No, I'm not even making a joke. Like, as a doctor, I'm telling you, check your T levels. You might be... anyway. That's how Jade used to look like. And he said that he didn't like any of the previous versions of Jade, but he really loves how this one came out. And I'm like, oh god. Oh my god, no. No. And then the trailer came out. And I'll show you the trailer of how Jade looks like in this particular instance. I mean, what do you say, chat? Yay or nay? You know, 1 for yay, 2 for nay. I'm genuinely curious. Let me know. You know, like, maybe it's just me. I wanna know that it's just me, but yeah, it's meh, isn't it? That's exactly what I felt like. I was like, meh. I mean, it's not the best, but meh. Apparently, like, okay, so according to the story, right, she's a revenant, and this is why she looks like this, which is fine, you know. You can play as her original skin. But as I'm looking at this, there's just something missing. I just can't put my hand... It looks like two things. Two things are missing from this picture. You know, I just can't tell what they are. But they should be there, and yet they're not. So, apparently she's going to look like this. You know, I hope they never do the Tara. I hope they will never play with the characters that I like. You know, like, now, it used to be that I wanted the characters that I liked. I am genuinely shocked and terrified to see what they're going to do to Frost. I am definitely scared if they ever going to do, you know what, like, let's have Frost the character. Frost used to be fucking cool, but I want to show something, right? Like, this is a stupid idea that women do not like, you know, skimpily clad costumes. And when you look at cosplaying, right, like, you look at women who cosplay, why the fuck, if they don't like it, why do they cosplay as the most skimpily clad, you know, characters in the game? Like, apparently this is an unrealistic depiction of a woman, isn't it? According to the video game critics, right? Like, unrealistic depictions of women. Look how many unrealistic depictions. Woman, you aren't real. Okay, NetherRealm doesn't think you're real. When Ed Boon looks at you, he's thinking about ways to nerf your tits. That's what he's thinking right now. Right now he is thinking when he sees this cosplay. How do I nerf her tits? And that ass is too large. I genuinely think, like, that guy has an unrealistic depiction of an ass. I don't think, you know, like, if he was a character in my game, I would nerf his ass. V, there's an objective, quantifiable difference between attractive women and unattractive women, and they're more aware of it than we are. No, I'm pretty sure, like, look. If there isn't any way to like if beauty is completely subjective, all right? If beauty is just 100% subjective, and there is no way, no objective way to tell a beautiful person from an ugly one, how the fuck do they 100% of the time just make ugly women? How is it possible that since they went woke, it's like every single time that they just know how? It is very interesting, eh? I'm still interested about the black female Marvel thing. I genuinely need to look into that. Like here's someone made a meme about it. American character design versus Japanese character design. Huh? How is it? How is it that Japan knows how to make beautiful women and America's just do not? Huh? Like what? Why is it a thing? By the way, like this is something else that I want to talk on my main channel, but it's I remember when I was a kid, I was buying video game magazines, and it was just about the video games, right? Like there was no politics whatsoever. It was video games, walkthroughs, cheat codes. You had like Dirty Little Helper, right? Nowadays, video game magazines are like 80% politics and 20% video games. Like they constantly talk about Trump, they constantly talk about politics, they virtue signal like a motherfucker. Like they, you know, representation this, representation that. Meh. There's an article on Polygon talking about Apex and how it only has like 2 black women, and it's like, okay, well, anyway. And because of that, you got developers that are taking this really to insane levels. Like, look, there was this thing released on Apex about one of their characters, like one of their heroes, and apparently he's gay, and his backstory looks like a furry's yiffing profile. Like when furries want to yiff, which is pretend fucking for those of you who don't know, like they cyber fuck, right? And they create like a winged dragon or some shit. Like they will usually have a story, an introduction for other people to get interested in their character. And that is literally what Apex did. Like I started to think that either they hired a furry or someone that is experienced at writing Grindr dating profiles, and they wrote that for that character. And it's like, why? What is the purpose? Like, is this actually selling? Like, are people actually, you know what? Wow, this character is gay. I'm going to buy the game now. I'm genuinely like bewildered. Like, I don't know how else to say it. It's like, it's not that it's good or that it's bad. It's like, why is it there? What is its purpose? It's like it's a first-person multiplayer shooting game, and you already have a character that goes by the name of They, which is the Blood Hunter. And there's another character that is gay and talks about how he rode his bike with his boyfriend or some shit. And it's like, why not talk about when the women are having periods if you're taking that route? You know, like, well, when is the Wraith in the game having her period? What is the time of the month? I want to know. What sexual positions do they like to fuck in? Do they do it doggy style or do they spoon? Like, if we're going to go into the character's sexuality, might as well go all the way. Just tell me the fetishes. What is he into? Inflation, you know, feet porn, giantess, I don't know. But maybe we should like cover that, because it seems to be really important. Titanfall 2. Yeah, Titanfall 2 is really sad, in my opinion. Like, it came out with a lot of other cool games. And because of that, people don't realize just what a cool single-player story it had. Like, Titanfall 2 has one of the best stories that I have played in a first-person shooter since a while. I think it's even better than maybe like... no, I would think it's just as good as Half-Life 2, the story. You know, it is such a good story that I definitely recommend to people to play the game. You know, Mass Effect doesn't count because it's not an FPS. And it is sad that a lot of people don't play the game. I think I will have to actually play the game on live so that people can see the story of Titanfall 2. V spends a lot of time talking about gay characters. A lot of time. Come out of the closet. Okay, just name me a TV show that doesn't have a gay character. Go on. Name me one. A single TV show. You know, even when you talk about video games, it's very hard. Like, there are more gay people in fiction now than there are in real life. Like, I am willing to bet, I'm willing to wager money on this, that there's more gay people on the screen than there are gay people in the real world. The TV show V doesn't have it, I mean, there's probably a few. I'm not saying, like, Breaking Bad doesn't have any gay characters. You know, I wonder how that went under the radar. Right. I think, you know, waited for another $5 super chat, but I'm not getting it, so, you know, I'm not going to push it. I understand. I'm not welcome. I'll be leaving now. But before we go, there's one more thing, which I also found very interesting, right? You got the Pope, which people are calling the anti-Pope. Pope Francis, leading imam, signs a covenant pushing us towards one world religion. And here's what's interesting about this, right? First of all, this is really good for people who don't know about religions. It's like, oh yeah, oh, progressive, oh! And I'm an atheist, and as an atheist, I actually know more about religion than religious people do, which is surprising. So, when the Pope signs this shit, he is signing it in the name of Christianity. The entire Catholic faith, actually. Luckily, not the Orthodox faith. But he is signing it in the name of all Catholic people everywhere. Right? Like, this is official Catholic... Like, the Catholics are hierarchical.
Fury K fund.
What? I got money. Where's the money? Where's the money? Oh my god, thank you. I appreciate that. Cool Vic. I stand with Vic. And also, thank you, Helmut. I'll have to do a video of my house once I get the carpet. But anyway, right. So the Pope is part of this hierarchical institution, and he is the main man. He is the capo. I think like the Inquisition, if you can call it like that. There's like the Vatican police. I think those might work outside the Pope, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, right. Now the Imam is signing it in his name. This is interesting, right? So why are you signing it with an Imam? Like, at least get a Mufti. Like, a Mufti would be, you know, someone you would sign something like this with. You're signing it with an Imam. It's ridiculous. Secondly, these religions are incompatible. Like, first of all, they think the other one is heresy by definition, right? Like, the Islam, like I can understand something like this signed between the Catholics and the Orthodox, right? Because their religions like do have some grievances, but they're not really that major. But the Muslims do not believe in Jesus Christ. That is heresy. And you drink alcohol when you take communion. That is haram. You cannot bring these two religions together. Like, look, if you are the best embodiment of Christ, like you are a saint in the Christian religion. You are literally, you know, like the guy that I play in my Dungeons and Dragons roleplay, right? You will burn in hell if it turns out that Islam is real. Like, you did not pray to Mecca. You did not stay away from things that are haram, like pork. You did not follow the Ramadan, right? You did not pray several times a day. So there is no way for you to enter heaven, even if you are the best Christian. Now, if you're the best Muslim possible, and you are like 100%, you know, good Muslim, you're the embodiment of Muhammad or something, right? If it turns out that Christianity is real, you will go to hell because you did not accept Jesus Christ in your heart. You did not accept the Holy Spirit. You did not take communion. You did not get baptism. You cannot unite these religions. Right? Now, why is the Pope unaware of this? Is beyond me. I do not know. It is very disrespectful, shameful display coming from an Orthodox. Right now, apparently he talks about how the world's Catholics and Sheikh Ahmed Al-Taib, the heads of Sunni Islam's most prestigious seat of learning, arrived at the ceremony. Right? Again, it doesn't matter. You should have signed it with the Mufti, not with a imam. It's like a Mufti signing something with a Catholic priest. Like, the fuck cares? You know, like he doesn't represent the Catholic Church. So the document was prepared with much reflection and prayer. The one great danger at this moment was destruction, war, and hatred between us. Oh my God. If we believers are not able to shake hands, embrace one another, kiss one another, and even pray, our faith will be defeated, he said. This is like why I consider Christianity to be a pussy religion, in my opinion. Like the whole turn the other cheek thing. Like, look, you're dealing. Like, this article came a couple of days ago, right? It's so horrible that I just couldn't even bring myself to talk about it. But you can Google it and you can find it. So apparently there was this woman who was Shia, and a bus stopped next to her, asked her like if she's what her religion is, and when they found out she is Shia, they took her kid in front of her and cut off its head in front of the mother, right? Like, this is the religion. You genuinely like, and you can't say this has nothing to do with the religion. Like that's why that's the religious reason. And they do this to other Muslims. What do you think they do to Christians? You know, like maybe I just I think maybe they like look. Christians were like this back in the day too, right? Like Christians used to stone witches. Christians used to stone gay people. Christians used to do a lot of shit. But at least they got their shit together and modernized. You don't see Christians doing that often. Maybe in some parts of Africa, I don't know. Like the worst thing that Christians did recently was to bomb abortion clinics. But even that seems to have stopped. Like, you just... Oh yeah, well, you know, the fuck do I know? Maybe I'm just a little bit bigoted that way. You know, maybe I just don't understand how things really are, and I need some education. That might also be a possibility. But I don't think that until we can have a discussion about this, like until you can actually entertain the discussion and talk about the radical extremists, and not only them, but the people supporting them, like the people who aren't abhorred by this and they think it's something normal and okay. Like, there was a transgender kid that was stoned to death. It wasn't even transgender. He looked feminine and he was stoned to death. I believe it was in Iran, if I'm not mistaken. And even the LGBT community, even the progressives were uproared about it. You know, like, you need to have this conversation. Come on, don't be so fragile. Just have the conversation and explain why it's happening and what your solutions are. But anyway. And this is like another thing, like God, who is the Father of all and the Father of peace, it condemns all destruction, all terrorism, from the first terrorism in history, that of Cain. This is false. Like, why is the Pope lying? Pope, open the Old Testament for fuck's sakes. Look what God did to Jericho. God did that. Look what God did to the Egyptians. He did it. You know, you can't say that it was God himself. Got pissed, sent the frogs. The frogs... Like, he went to Alex Jones and it's like, oh, the frogs are gay, I'm going to send them from the heaven and kill them. First plague, the plague of frogs. Was it the first plague or, I lost count. What I want to know about the Egyptian shit is how did the Egyptians actually have access to magic? Because, you know, like Moses comes in there with his stick and he does the hocus pocus and turns it in a snake and shit. But the Egyptians were doing their shenanigans as well. Like, they also had their magicians that did the snake, and they also turned the water into blood. And, you know, like at one point they ran out of mana. Like, they didn't level up to compete with the miracles, but they kept up for a little while. And I kept asking my religious teacher, it's like, where did the magicians get their power from? And he was like, Satan gave them power. It's like, okay, well... but if you read on it, like, God actually, in the Old Testament, like, there is this line which I found very interesting. He says he's going to punish the Egyptian and their gods. So I guess like this kind of admits that there were other gods in the world back then, but they were probably not as powerful as Yahweh.
When Islam does something bad, it isn't real Islam, apparently. Even when Muhammad did it.
Well, yeah, like something more interesting is that when Christianity does something bad, it's Christianity. You know, when Christians bomb abortion clinics, it's crazy Christians. And I agree. I'm like, no, that is actual. Like that is correct. Christians have bombed abortion clinics, and it's because of the Christianity and their radical belief in it. Yeah. And when they burned witches, I'm like, yeah, you know, like, imagine this. Imagine if there was a group of radical Christians burning witches at the stake, and everyone would say, well, this has nothing to do with Christianity. Like, what? Surely it must have a little to do. Oh my god. People are saying low-level gods. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like they were low-level gods. Like, they did exist. Some scholars, because I actually looked at it, I was genuinely curious. It's like, how the fuck are there gods beyond Yahweh? Because, you know, like, I'm the only God, thy God, right? And people say that they might have been the what are they called? The Nerazim, the Netrazim, I don't know what. But they, like, at one point in the Bible, it's mentioned that angels have mixed with humans. Oh, the Nephilim, yeah. Yeah, that's actually in the Bible. So it's mentioned that, like, angels mated with humans and created the Nephilim. And it's possible, like, according to the official church doctrine, that the Egyptian gods might have been Nephilim. And I was like, oh, nice. I was like, you know what? Fair enough. Helmut for $2. A 6-year-old was beheaded a few days ago. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There was another the 9-year-old was the one that the American supported rebels, you know, the good terrorists in Syria beheaded. And the heartbreaking thing about that story is that the kid said, please shoot me. You know, again, we're talking about the 9-year-old. Like, you can find this on Google if you search, you know. And he said, like, please shoot me, right? And don't be like ISIS, you know, I don't want to die in pain. And he's like, we're worse than ISIS. Just like, and these are the terrorists that America is supporting. Helmut for NPC says, Earth is flat, God is real. Yeah, I mean, you know, like, conspiracy theories. What about religion? Huh? What about Christianity? What about Islam? Is YouTube going to recommend the videos? Neanderthal Lies Matter by Lord Pteridax and Slacking Games.
I was more or less taught that behind every false god was Satan and his demons. Powerful but not quite god tier.
Oh, if you want to know the funniest thing about religion, like, this is actually something that I got taught in schools. A lot of the Jesus story, right, comes from Mesopotamian folklore. There's a lot of dates and a lot of things that coincide, right? So a lot of people point out that the New Testament, like the Jesus birth, is plagiarized from previous religions. And the answer to that, and this is actually official church doctrine, is that Satan went back in time and changed the texts in order to, you know, fool people into not believing the New Testament. It's so funny that they can actually use Satan to cover up any inconsistency. Like, literally, you know, like, why are they dinosaurs? Well, Satan planted the fossils there. You know, like, you can use, like, Satan in order to explain away anything that doesn't make sense in the Bible. Yeah, the flood, another example. It's like, why is there a flood? And they're saying, well, but the thing with the flood, you can say, well, it happened and different people had, like, different deities that they were praying to, and they all, you know, interpreted differently, so. Anyway, let me just check. Let me just check Streamlabs really fast, see if any people donated. Last time there was someone upset that I haven't read this donation. And after that, I'll probably consider playing Titanfall 2 for people. I don't know if people want me to finish Resident Evil. Haven't played it in a while, so I'm a little bit out of it. I don't even remember what I saved last time, but I'll have to check. Let's see, Streamlabs. All right, dashboard and the donations. We got New Renaissance. What is your take on your neighbor Helena Lives getting banned on Twitch? She's Greek. Maybe have her on the show. I understand that she was legitimately like toxic. This is what people say. It's a Gundam made a video about it. Now people say that she got banned because she misgendered the transgender person or something like that. I don't know. Maybe yeah, that is fucked up. But I understand that's only one strike, so she got like 2 other strikes.
Gods exist, and the Italians proved it with the 4-story tall god Emperor Trump, the wielder of the best tariffs.
You know what's funny about that? Like, this is something that no one talks about. Do you know that the person who made the Trump emperor allegedly is a leftist, and he is doing it in order to fight against Trump's globalism? Like, I'll need to make a video. I need to check the source, right? I don't think they expected it would be received like that. Like, I don't think they expected people would actually turn it into a positive. So I don't know. I'll really look into it, and if it's true, like if I can find confirmation, I'll make a video about it. It's a Trojan horse. No, let me see if I can actually find the news article now. So Trump, Italy statue artist. Okay, so it's in the Times. It's from 5 days ago. So a giant, godlike statue of the president. Can you imagine how much it cost, by the way? Like, the baby blimp from Donald Trump, I think that costed like 30,000 pounds, if not more. It costed just as much as an apartment in my country. Like, this is enormous. Like, this probably costed far more than that. So anyway, apparently heavy as 40 tons. Ooh. One gigantic flows to doubt, huge moving sculpture of President Trump. The parade's official website said that its master drone in its right hand, the Trump, has a sword which says your taxes and none of your fucking business.
If you look at the statue, it has a hammer and sickle on its shoulder.
Does it? Let's see. I mean, the picture is no. Where is the hammer and sickle? No, it doesn't. I mean, if it yeah, it does. But I think this is another statue. Interesting. So anyway, the artist Fabrizio Galli, whose past sculptures include the satirical depiction of Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin. It says that he took the statue from Warhammer 40k. In the era of Trump, the statement said fantasy had become a reality. The dominant male par excellence has arrived democratically and is now here amongst us. The master drone flies over Vijaya Boardwalk as we prepare to pay the price. Many conservative commentators on Twitter appear to interpret the float as a tribute to Trump. Several tweeted that it was a parade for Trump. However, the artist says this carnival in Italy looks like a lot more fun than Thanksgiving Day parade, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, the artist didn't want it to be like a tribute to Trump. Trump's image has been popular in the parade several times over the past few years. A snarling Trump head was placed in the middle of an American-themed float. A Statue of Liberty stood on top of Trump's hair, where a giant cowboy said the praise bang bang towered over him. A clip of the Green Day song American Idiot played in the background. People in Italy will have several more chances to view the parade. Right. So yeah, the artist did not want to give this as a tribute to Trump, like he was making fun of him. But it backfired so hard that people genuinely are happy with it. And, and they're like, oh yeah, no, this is a tribute to Donald Trump, and people are definitely praising it. Unless, you know, like the artist being a leftist, he wanted to, like, you know, he likes Trump and wanted to push this without getting controversy from his friends. Who knows? I need to press the ad. What ad was it? Let me check. Which advertisement did I get? The share house. Why do you guys want me to press the ad of the share house? Why do you want me to go into a house with shares? Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and maybe I'll make a video about Guy Forhafschen tomorrow. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Yeah, thank you for the donations, and thank you for watching. I hope I entertained you all, and I'll see you all tomorrow.